So in today's video, I'll be talking about subjects that I think I've touched on a few times, but it's kind of like the UK fitness space or whatever, or the fitness space in general, to be fair. And it all revolves around like a certain person, Jack's Fitness, of course, the absolute unit himself. And essentially, the reason I'm talking about Jack is because, and some people may see me as a hater or whatever, but I don't hate him, I just dislike him. I'll just put it out there. I don't like the guy. And that's primarily because he is a tool, to put it simply. And there are a lot of people like him. So I'll be going over, just the type of people you should avoid in the fitness space, because Jack is one of them. He's a scammer as of recent. He scammed his fans out of, gym clothes or whatever. Saw it on Dave Trains. So if you haven't seen those videos, go watch Dave Trains on Instagram. And essentially, the amount of controversies Jack's gone through, especially with him not gaining any muscle after 3 years, claiming he's on steroids and all this sort of stuff. Basically just trying to retain attention by being a rage baiter and not actually being a gym influencer, in my personal opinion. I think this is all to due to the people he surrounds himself with. Ever since the Ed Matthews situation, he's just surrounded himself with pretty much melts. I don't know what his name is. His name's George or something. And then there's this ginger guy. All melts, to be honest. They're just what do they even do? Half the time, they just hang around Jack to leech off him, in most cases. And that's the kind of fitness space, and all of them are from the UK, that I don't like. Because they're just, one, the guys who surround Jack are leeches. Two, Jack isn't a fitness influencer, although he claims it. And I honestly think he's just as much of a tool by promoting gambling to people, which, I'll be honest, in some situations, it's whatever. But if you're a fitness influencer trying to blatantly push out to improve yourself, it's counterintuitive. Gambling is addictive and can be very detrimental to the mind. And him promoting it's kind of he's a bit of a sellout, isn't he? Now, on this channel, if I ever get approached by a gambling company, I would never promote it, even if I was on my last legs. Because, unlike Jack, I have a brain and I'd get a fucking job. But if I'm on my last legs, I'm not going to go for a gambling company because I believe gambling isn't inherently good for you because of how addictive and how it can ruin people's lives. And essentially, when it comes to Jack as a fitness influencer, he is pretty shit. I get it. You were skinny, you want to get big and all this kind of stuff, and so you watch Jack's Fitness. But in the 3 years this guy's been around, he's done fuck all. Literally fuck all in terms of his physique and strength. That's because he doesn't listen. And I think it's because he doesn't, eat properly. He doesn't train properly. He just doesn't listen. And he does these stupid stunts like the scamming, the rain bet videos, and all the other controversies this guy's gone through. And I'll be honest, I kind of supported him when he first came up. I was like, oh my God, a guy from my area, by the way. He's from Kirklees, by the way. I've seen him about, my friends have seen him about. Literally, this guy could have been an inspiration to many, but he chose to be just a influencer. And that's what I don't like about the fitness space as a whole now, is that people are so in tune with these degenerate fitness influencers that are on steroids and all this stupid amount of drugs. It's it's not the fitness space. They are degenerates. They're in the degenerate space. I think they are completely separate from what I create. And what I create funny videos about the gym in my shorts, but I also create informative content like this. You know, I try my very best to talk about subjects I'm into, and I try and show my training because, you know, it's all part of the journey. I've been doing fitness for 3 years now, and I started recording when I was just, approaching 2 years of pure fitness. So it's kind of like, I do this for the pure enjoyment of fitness. I don't do it because I am the biggest, I'm the strongest. No, I do it because I enjoy it. I don't get paid for these videos. I don't get any sponsorships. I don't get anything, simply. And, you know, that's the kind of like purity I believe, you know, a lot of fitness influencers should have. They shouldn't be, you know, doing all this stupid stunts like Larry Wheels and, you know, these other people that just come up with a bunch of degenerate things like Togi. Another guy that claimed to be natural, then as soon as he got his audience, he said, "Oh yeah, I'm unnatural." It's kind of a bunch of rubbish. But you can guarantee from me that I will be 100% transparent and honest because, you know, it's who I am. I don't care. I'm British. I'm British to the core, to the point where I will say it as it is. And that's my, you know, person. But anyway, departing from, me ranting about the British fitness industry being an absolute shit show, technically, I am just going to go through my workout. I didn't record my push day. I had a long shift and I got home and got all my stuff together and I was like, oh, shit, I need to, get back and stuff. But essentially just matter of circumstances with that bit of the video. But I've definitely got my pull day and my leg day, which I think in the next video I'll just talk about how I might change it around because, you know, I don't know if it's leg day being so close to my push day, which I'd squat as well, is kind of like detrimental to me. But, you know, it'll be what it is. But anyway, we'll get into the more informative content right now. So usually I would display a push day, but I forgot my camera because I was at work practically all day. So I just forgot it. And you just get to see the push, well, not the push day, the pull day, which probably thinking, why am I starting off with some bench press if it's a push day? Not push day, a pull day. Essentially, I just need to get my bench volume in, and I have 5 days to do that. And I like doing 3 days where I am benching. So I have one primary bench, and then the rest are like tempo bench because, you know, I prefer a tempo bench because, you know, it inherently makes me stronger. You know, it like drills in all the little minor details of a bench press, so I get stronger and more efficient at bench press, which I'll be honest, I might honestly do to my deadlifts at this point because my deadlifts have fallen off. So I might add in some pause deadlifts in my next block, which will be tremendous. And then I have to essentially redo the entire block because I feel like this one has gone like as shit as it could go. Primarily because I was a bit of an idiot and rushed my whole planning. But essentially, I just need to focus on, you know, what to do next. How can I make my program better? How can I more apply it to myself? Because last program, I was basically free reins. I didn't have a job at that point, so it's kind of like when you don't have a job, it's kind of like basically, you know, you'd get everything, you know, all your PRs and stuff. But seeing as I have a job now where it's like more different, like I have to just like think around my shifts. So it's just a bit of a life change, but you know,
we all gotta have a job, we all gotta earn something, in order to live and stuff. So yeah, it's just like those minor changes that I'll do, and hopefully sort it out. But anyway, we got some lat pull downs as usual. So if you haven't seen my how to build your lats video, go check it out. It exclusively talks about lat pull down and lat pull over, which I didn't do in this video, but essentially my whole thought process behind building your lower lats is just to get more mind muscle connection with a lat pull down and make sure you pull into your lower lats. It's kind of weird to say, but once you get that mind muscle connection, I think you'll be able to understand that part of it. But anyway, on to cable rows. So with cable rows, sort of similar process. As a person who used to just like row without even thinking about it, now I'm more, technical, but I'm going as hard as I can. So essentially what I do here is I think that about like squeezing my shoulder blades together. I think about it. I make and especially when you're a beginner, pausing with the weight up there and then letting it go down slowly is able to get that mind muscle connection. So when you're in the future, you can do a lot more weight, but also you can do a lot more reps really, because when you get to that stage of that mind muscle connection, you won't really need to do it as slow, but it always helps when you're in that beginner stage to do it as slow as you can. Like every single exercise, especially, things like this, you just need that mind muscle connection in order to build muscle. If you're doing it for athletic performance, it doesn't really matter. But if you're trying to build muscle, you need that mind muscle connection really like ingrained in yourself. So like here with my preacher curl, I'm thinking and engaging my bicep. I'm trying to only do my bicep. I'm thinking about it. It's once you get into that like sort of routine, you'll understand what I'm talking about. It's mainly, just thinking about it. You're just like, I have a purpose here. I am doing this. That's all you got to think about, because it kind of applies to other, sports. So like with my strength stuff, which isn't hypertrophy, I am thinking on like just going there and explosively pushing the weight. Like with squats, I get myself psyched up, I go in the bar, I focus, go down to where my sitting point is, and then I push back up. Those are the kind of cues. And you kind of need like a few cues with hypertrophy stuff anyway, but when it comes to just biceps, it's kind of like need that stretch and you squeeze and then lower it down slowly, stretch and squeeze, kind of like that kind of thought pattern. I mean, it's managed to do wonders for my biceps, because preacher curl and I believe an incline curl or a cable curl of some sort is very beneficial, because especially with preacher curl, it's just your bicep moving, but I'd say the rest of like cable and incline curl, they kind of just like, it's a bit extra, and it pushes you that bit more because you have more potential for momentum. Like here, it's kind of like a matrix cable curl that I'm doing here, but that's primarily because I'm trying to engage my short head, which is the like outside, what is it called? Muscle, because there's two muscles in the bicep, meaning bi meaning two, hence bisexual and bipolar, it's like two personality or whatever. So essentially, bicep, you have your short head on the outside, you have your long head on the inside. Short head mainly stimulated if you rotate your palm outwards like I am here, and essentially curling to the side, which we don't have a matrix curl in my gym, so it's kind of a good alternative if you're trying to look to build your short head, but it's only micromanagements this, because if you're a beginner, you don't really need to do anything for your short head. You just need to do some regular exercises and then improvise from there. Because no matter what, when you're a beginner, you just need to get the basics right before you go into the more complex stuff, which this is kind of complex because you don't really need to do it when you're a beginner. So I just stick to the basics if I were you. But anyway, reverse curls for the forearms, doing a bit of, a wrist curl at the end, so like essentially supersetting it with some just wrist curls. I'm trying to just build up my forearms as much as I can, because I've got a few comments of saying, oh, it would be way better if your forearms were a lot bigger, which yeah, I can inherently see, because my forearms aren't the greatest. I'll definitely say that, because you'll be able to see me in just a minute that the angle that I take my posing at is kind of like a downward trajectory, just purely because that's how my camera basically sits on this like shelf bit, which I'm not in the changing rooms, I'm kind of in like the toilet area where you can't see anyone who's naked, you can't see anyone cleaning their hands or whatever. It's just like the entrance to the left, and then it's just like the rest of it, which I find is way more respectful than doing it just around the corner or something like that. And plus, most of the time, the changing rooms / toilet / just like hair drying area, which is kind of like where I pose anyway, is very quiet anyway, because no one's in there. But yeah, as you can see, delts looking pretty solid. Lats, they're there, they're getting there, and I would say at this point in the cut, it's just like, do I really need to cut? Because I've cut down like 7 kilos, and I think I look the exact same as I did at like 100 kilos. So I'm kind of like contemplating the whole cut thing, because it's like I'm losing strength, I'm feeling shit about myself. Is it really worth it for me? Not really, because inherently I'm not doing a bodybuilding competition yet, and if I was primarily going towards a bodybuilding competition, I'd be more locked in. It's just that I don't have much of a motivation to cut. So it might change. But anyway, pause squats, yet again, an exercise that helps with strength, but also because I've had a hip flexor injury in the past due to poor hip flexor mobility and also weak hip flexors, I definitely do find this and split squats are very beneficial. Especially because the hip flexor is just like the socket which your hip and your femur connect. So all the tendons, all the little muscles and stuff, I managed to injure practically all that, and it was very painful to even walk, and very uncomfortable to even lay down, which was pretty shit. But when it comes to squat depth, it also helps, because you're pausing at the bottom, and I see a lot of people who used to do what I do, because it's not all the way down, but you just need to get just slightly below parallel, just like I'm here. But anyway, doing some RDLs. You're probably thinking, why are you going to 5 reps? 5, it's technically a deadlift, a replacement deadlift, which in the future I might just do stiff leg deadlifts, because I find that I can go a lot heavier on RDLs, but I would rather have either a pause deadlift or a variation of stiff leg deadlift, because it's kind of like, RDLs are useful in a lot of ways, but for deadlift, I might have to sacrifice them in order to, grow. But anyway, essentially at this point, if you do not notice, as there was no benches, I wasn't able to do split squats, so I did like more of a sissy squat. I waited for the person behind me just to finish, because that's what I do, because there's no benches, nothing I can really do at that point. So I just waited, and eventually she finished on a hip thrust, and I got to do some split squats eventually, which I'm doing what is that? 35 each side, so 70 kilograms altogether, because I don't count the bar or whatever, because it's basically weightless. Essentially, getting a lot heavier on these, and a lot more improvements, which is a good sign. And it's looking very, very good for split squats, and hopefully in the future squat, because my squat's gone a bit cock as well, because I've lost so much weight in terms of stuff. But in future I'll just think, is it really worth it to cut? No, I want to stick around 93 kilograms just because of a weight category thing. And hopefully in the future, when I do eventually go on an actual cut where I will do a bodybuilding competition at some point in my life, I'll have a lot more muscle, because I don't think I'm currently ready for a bodybuilding competition at all. But yeah, now onto leg press. Usually I'd do single leg, double leg, but I think at this point I was kind of dazed, primarily after split squat. And I didn't do it for the first 2 sets, I believe. And then once it got to the 3rd set, I was like, oh shit, I need to do the double leg, because I felt like, why are my legs feeling like I'm not doing anything? Because you can feel a bit of sense of numbness with a lot of exercises, especially if you've gone heavy on, let's say, a skull crusher, and then you do like triceps. It's kind of like, it kind of feels numb in a way. But still go through the motions, and I managed to get through leg press fairly easy. I dropped it down slightly, and the primary reason I do like single leg, double leg is just because I can't be arsed taking the weight off for like a drop set, and seeing as I don't have a gym partner, it's kind of like, I'll just do this instead, because inherently on one leg a lot more pressure, and then with double legs it's kind of like just half of it. So that's just why I'm doing it so light. So and also I think it's okay, especially for this gym that doesn't have a hack squat. I'd much prefer a hack squat in my own personal opinion, but this gym doesn't have one, so gotta make do with what we have. And now onto leg extensions, which unfortunately I only have one file for, and then I did some leg curls, and then adductors. Basically got lost in everything. So it's the thing with GoPros, you tend to lose a lot of data and stuff like that, just purely because it likes to piss about. But anyway, that's all I've got for today. Next episode will probably be very different, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.